My name is Heidi Boyd, and I am giving my presentation on a food pantry in a rural school. As a high school educator in Truro, Iowa, I was aware of chronic hunger needs within our school and community. Currently, over 30% of students are receiving free and or reduced lunches. According to statistics, over 13% of residents are currently living in poverty within Truro, Iowa, which has a population of 500 people. 100% of them are rural. I spoke with another family and consumer science educator who initiated a school-based pantry in a neighboring town. The nearest grocery store and pantry is 15 miles away in Winterset, Iowa. Food insecurity was a huge issue for many families in this area. The Food Bank of Iowa acknowledges that 94 schools in their service area have a food pantry, 3 of which are located in Madison County. According to the Food Bank of Iowa, 1 in 5 children are food insecure, which is defined by the United States Department of Agriculture as households that are uncertain of having or unable to acquire enough food to meet basic needs of all their members. The counties currently being served by the Food Bank of Iowa are represented in this map. Truro, Iowa is located in Section 4. What I did was meet with school administrators to seek approval to start a food pantry based out of my classroom. I located an area in my classroom that could house a refrigerator and a freezer. I then asked the custodians to install shelving into the laundry room of my classroom. I got students involved by including them in the ordering process and recipe development of utilizing the foods available through the pantry. I was trained on civil rights as well as the Emergency Food Assistance Program eligibility. I then arranged a meeting to begin more training and the approval process. The requirements to start a food pantry within a school in Iowa is that the area needs to be determined to be underserved by other outlets. There needs to be an on-site coordinator who oversees, supervises, and is in contact with the Food Bank of Iowa. There must be a location to host the pantry out of. Monthly activity must be reported, including family name, the size of the household, as well as the date they were served. Distribution times need to be scheduled, and the different trainings need to be completed. The school must also pass a site inspection before they are allowed to be approved for partnership, and then once again every 2 years after that. This slide outlines the way food makes its way to hungry Iowans through the Food Bank of Iowa. Copies of the Emergency Food Assistance Program eligibility, as well as the Civil Rights Training Certificates, can be seen on this slide. The community donations come in mostly through the local churches when asked for donations of healthy foods to help supplement the school pantry. This led to farmers donating pork and beef. A donation of $500 for beef to be stored in the freezer was also given, as well as weekly donations of non-perishable items from a local church. I was then contacted by a community member who was willing to pick up orders for our pantry monthly using his truck and horse trailer. The developmental theory applied to this project was the ecological theory by Bronfenbrenner, who acknowledged development is the result of the relationship between the people and their environment. Not only is this development happening for those benefiting from their community resource as far as food goes, but the students experiencing altruism through their efforts as well can be observed. The stage of development for high school students allows them to feel the satisfaction of doing stuff selflessly for others. The Food Bank of Iowa began a pilot program in 2014 to implement school pantries. The school pantry program became a national program of Feeding America in 2010. The Food Bank of Iowa maintains 53,000 square feet of food distribution center. They serve approximately 400 partner agencies within 55 counties. And currently there are 8 food banks that serve Iowa's 99 counties. The Food Bank of Iowa already had a system in place in order to facilitate and organize their outlets. They also agree to reimburse schools for purchases up to $200 for shelving and $700 for cold storage. As a family and consumer science educator, I would love to see this program evolve into a learning pantry, to be able to offer nutritious yet satisfying meals for families to utilize would be a benefit to this program. Although the community is able to access more food now, they still need education regarding nutrition and healthy cooking methods. It is also important to acknowledge that not every household has proper cold storage or heating appliances. I just began a program with a local gas station, Come and Go, who donates totes of food which would otherwise be discarded due to date labeling. The food is frozen and distributed at bi-monthly open pantry dates. The following slides show photos from the school food pantry based out of my family and consumer science classroom at Interstate 35 High School. You can see that the commercial refrigerator is stored across from the washer and dryer and next to upright deep freeze. Students have fun pushing boxes upon boxes and cart upon carts of food to be placed in my classroom on open pantry days. It takes a lot of helpers to get it all unloaded. And here's an example of some kids as they're unloading the horse trailer from the volunteer in the community. And there is me with a couple of students in the back of my classroom sorting and unloading more boxes for an open pantry that we would have that day. Clothing is an item that I would like to see expanded. A group recently made this donation of children's sweatshirts that were not able to be used for whatever reason and put them in the pantry for distribution at our last open pantry in November. Here's a image I took of shoppers one day after school. I let them know I was going to be taking this photo. They were all okay with this, but this is just kind of a general setup of how I don't even unload or put these boxes away due to space constraints. I unload, sort boxes, leave them on tables, and let the shoppers go around and take what they need. Another view. Again, there's me communicating with some of the shoppers this day. The Food Bank of Iowa sends brochures and information to be passed out during open pantries as additional resources and supports for families within the community. This particular one is discussing WIC and where to go to get more information. The only source of food aside from the school pantry is a family-owned convenience store across the street from the high school. Urban areas tend to have more access to perishables than us rural areas due to their location of being near grocery stores. Obesity is a huge concern for rural areas as there is a lack of fresh perishables available to many families. A lot of the people that the food pantry serves are actually students who are trying to support their younger siblings due to whatever reason it might be. Other shoppers are unemployed due to health reasons or lack of employment opportunities. Some are not able to afford the gas to get to the school. Therefore, their neighbors go and collect and then later deliver to them on open pantry days. Being in a rural K-12 school in a town with a population of 500 doesn't allow for a lot of food storage space. Therefore, by arranging pantry deliveries to be right before a pantry opens, in order to prevent having to store the food for very long, makes it a lot easier. Many of the customers and shoppers tell me that they are embarrassed to have to shop at a food pantry. They would have never seen it coming. I met with custodians who allowed a door to be accessed during open pantry days to eliminate these individuals from having to walk through the entire school to access my classroom. Other shoppers are close friends who meet up and discuss life as they shop and seem to have known each other forever. I am currently up to 49 families and 126 individuals. On pantry days, many are aware of the open scheduled date due to communication through social media, which includes texting, emailing, as well as posting on a local swap page for the area, kind of like an online garage sales posting. Otherwise, it's through word of mouth and through the local churches. Typically on pantry days, I am greeted with hugs and sometimes tears of gratitude, which keeps me motivated to continue growing and making this program as strong as possible to serve the needs of my students and community. Thank you for your patience during this presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. My resources follow.